What the world is witnessing right now in the Persian Gulf is not just a routine deployment. It is the final piece of a strategic puzzle that Iran completely ignored. While all eyes are on the blocked Strait of Hormuz, the Pentagon has just fast tracked a massive force that doesn't need a port to invade. The USS Boxer has set sail 3 weeks ahead of schedule, joining a strike group that changes the entire calculation of the conflict. In this video, we will reveal how Donald Trump is using a ghost strategy to encircle Iranian islands, and why the arrival of these 5,000 Marines means the plan for a ground invasion has just entered its point of no return. The confirmation came directly from the Pentagon. The USS Boxer, LHD 4, departed San Diego on March 18th, carrying the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit. But it's not alone. It is converging with the USS Tripoli, which has already crossed the Strait of Malacca. Together, we are looking at approximately 5,000 elite Marines and two massive amphibious ready groups moving toward the same coordinate. This is in addition to two carrier strike groups already on station. The question military analysts are asking is simple. Is Trump preparing to seize strategic Iranian islands? And more importantly, if the Strait of Hormuz is closed, how can these massive ships even get close enough to strike? To understand the threat, you must understand the tools. The USS Boxer is a 40,000-ton Titan designed for one thing: getting troops onto a beach. With its massive well deck, it can launch LCAC hovercrafts carrying 70 tons of armor at over 40 knots. It's a floating fortress with a full hospital and the capacity to deploy 40 amphibious assault vehicles simultaneously. However, the USS Tripoli is a completely different animal. As an America-class Flight Zero ship, it sacrificed its well deck for a massive hangar. It's essentially a light aircraft carrier. In 2022, it proved it could operate 20 F-35B stealth fighters at once. The Tripoli provides the invisible air shield, while the Boxer provides the boots on the ground. Together, they form a lethal combination that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard cannot easily counter. Here is the detail that changes the game. The Marines no longer rely on traditional beach landings. Even if the Strait of Hormuz remains shut, these ships can stay in the Gulf of Oman, safely out of reach of Iran's coastal missiles, and still project devastating force. The star of this operation is the MV-22B Osprey. With a combat radius of over 800 kilometers and speeds exceeding 500 kilometers per hour, the Osprey allows the Marines to leapfrog over Iranian defenses. This follows the EABO concept, Expeditionary Advanced Base Operations. Originally designed for a conflict with China, EABO is being adapted for the Persian Gulf. The plan is simple: insert small, lethal units of Marines onto strategic islands like Karg, where 90% of Iran's oil exports flow, to set up missile systems and sensors. They turn the enemy's own islands into American fortresses, choking Iran's economy from the inside out. Imagine the operation. First, Tripoli's F-35Bs suppress Iranian radar. Then, waves of Ospreys launched from the Boxer in Tripoli insert hundreds of Marines within the first hour. By the fifth hour, all 5,000 troops are dug in, supported by AH-1Z Viper attack helicopters and heavy equipment delivered by CH-53 King Stallions. This isn't just a possibility, it's what the Marine Corps has been training for. By sending both ships now, Trump has secured multiple options, and in high-stakes geopolitics, having the most options is how you win the war before the first shot is even fired. But don't think Tehran is just watching. Iran knows it cannot win a conventional blue water battle, so they've turned the Persian Gulf into a lethal maze of A2/AD, anti access and area denial. Thousands of smart mines, swarms of fast attack suicide boats, and the Fateh class submarines are waiting in the shadows. However, this is exactly why the Boxer Tripoli duo is a nightmare for the Revolutionary Guard. By staying outside the strait, Trump's ghost force bypasses the primary kill zone. While Iranian commanders wait for a massive fleet to enter the narrow passage, the Marines are already overhead. We are talking about the Lightning Carrier concept. The USS Tripoli isn't just carrying planes, it's providing a 24/7 stealth umbrella. Any Iranian missile battery that even turns on its radar is instantly identified by F 35B sensors and neutralized by long range tomahawks from the escorting destroyers before they can even fire a single shot. Oil, power, and the dollar. Why Karg? Why Keshem? This isn't just about sand and rock. It's about the jugular of the global economy. Karg Island is the terminal for 90% of Iran's crude oil. If the Marines secure a denial position there through EABO, they don't just stop a war, they gain a switch to turn off Iran's national income. This is the ultimate economic leverage. The strategy here is strategic reassurance through absolute dominance. By positioning these 5,000 Marines and two amphibious giants, Trump is signaling to the world, and specifically to China and Russia, that the US still owns the world's most critical energy corridor. Every hour these ships move closer, the insurance premiums for oil tankers fluctuate, and the geopolitical cost for Tehran to maintain its defiance skyrockets. This is a siege without a single bullet being fired, yet. The convergence of the 11th and 31st MEU represents more than just numbers. It represents a complete shift in the regional balance of power. We are now at the flashpoint. The logistics are set, the F 35s are fueled, and the Ospreys are on the flight deck. History shows that when the US sends this specific combination of aviation heavy and well deck capable ships, it's not for a photo op, it's for a mission. The coming days will be decisive. Will Tehran attempt a desperate move to break the encirclement, or will the sheer presence of this amphibious iron fist force a diplomatic surrender? One thing is certain. The ghost strategy has moved from paper to the salt water of the Gulf, and the window for a peaceful exit is closing fast. Stay tuned, because the next update might come from the front lines of an island you've never heard of, but that now holds the fate of the world. Subscribe and hit the bell. Don't miss the moment the first wave hits the shore.